This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5, get ready for a big change to your drive. Coming up, a live report on where the interstate work is being done and how long it will last.
They say they are working to highlight 4 recent instances of what they believe is police brutality. The demonstration they held last night and the response from the police department. Here at 6 o'clock.
Yes,
thank you for joining.
6 o'clock.
Yes.
I said now at 5. We're not going to rewind here.
Not go back.
6 o'clock.
No.
We didn't
Friday.
wake up late.
We're keeping this Friday chugging along.
We do want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana, and we do want to talk about our Friday forecast.
You know, and it's a good one once again. A little bit warmer than it has been, but there's only one direction you can go when you have temperatures in the 70s for the most part in the summer, and that's in an upward direction with a little bit of higher humidity. And, you know, you'll notice the humidity just a little bit more this afternoon, but overall it's still very, very comfortable. Sky's starting to brighten now just a little bit here as you look off towards the north. On the right-hand side of the screen here, you can see the sky starting to brighten, and we'll have lots of sunshine here this morning. So there are some clouds finally off to our west, and some of these clouds will start to spill in as the afternoon goes on and this area of high pressure slides off towards the east. You do not have to worry about the rain showers, though, as that runs into the dry air. They're basically going to evaporate, so that will not be an issue in our forecast for your Friday. 58 from Bloomington to Greencastle, 55 in Crawfordsville, running a little bit warmer in Indianapolis at 67 degrees. So today we'll go from mostly sunny to partly cloudy with temperatures that'll be climbing into the mid-80s for your afternoon highs.
Todd, thank you. We want to take a look right now at traffic for your morning drive. This is I-865 and I-465. Now, this is part of the detour route for that I-65 closure in the dogleg, but you can see a light there on the right side of your screen. We do have a crash cleanup in the area, but it looks like traffic is getting by this okay this morning. Let's take a look at our map real quick. You can see just a slight delay was shown. That was due to that crash right here, right before the I-465 ramps. So just take it slow, and you can see there the I-65 closure and why this is part of the detour route. Take it easy as you head through that area this morning. Another weekend and another interstate closure, and it could throw a wrench in your drive, and it all starts tonight.
That construction will be on a section of I-70, and that is where our Aaron Lish joins us live from. Aaron, this is just the latest construction project of many happening in our area.
Absolutely, and the thing is, you're not going to see the traffic that you're seeing now coming on I-70 at 9 o'clock tonight, because all lanes will be closed here eastbound and westbound. We actually have Mallory Duncan here with us from INDOT. All right, so this is going to be from the south split all the way to I-465. Pretty big stretch. What are you guys doing out here?
Yeah, that's correct. So we're doing a lot of work. It's a long way. You'll see a lot of new pavement when you drive on it coming up in 9 days. But you also, the things you won't see, a lot of bridge work. A lot of those joints that you kind of drive over as a little bump, those won't be there anymore. So all of your little teeny speed bumps are gone. And then we're also doing a lot of maintenance work. I mean, with a full closure, we can get all of our maintenance crews in there, get a lot of work done, like guardrail, barrier, just anything that needs to be done that we don't have to close a lane for later down the road.
Why are you guys doing both lanes eastbound and westbound?
So this is part of our whole kind of south side contract that we've been doing this whole summer. We started back in May with our full closures on the weekends, but because of the rain in May and June, it really hindered our progress. So we decided to close both directions, get it done in 9 days, and get out of there.
All right, well, we're going to have a little bit more in the next half hour talking about the detours on how to get around all of this, but for now, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. The time right now is 6:04, and we're following breaking news from the west side. A man is in critical condition after he was shot during an attempted robbery. Metro Police tell us that 2 men were walking near West 10th Street and North Girls School Road when they were approached by a group of up to 6 men. One of the people in the larger group had a gun and tried to rob the 2 victims when the gunshots were fired. The man who was shot was taken to Eskenazi Hospital. Officers are still looking for the suspects.
It is our duty to win.
Black Black Lives Matter. It's an issue local activists want to keep at the forefront. Last night, dozens of people gathered for a demonstration outside of the City County building to highlight what they say are 4 recent incidents of police brutality. Organizers say they want accountability and transparency from IMPD. Until then, they say they will take some safety initiatives into their own hands.
We have a mental health task force that we formed that we are working so that IMPD does not respond to 911 calls when people are having a mental health crisis. So we are hoping that task force is implemented and gets off the ground.
RTV6 reached out to police for a response to the demonstration. The department says while no officer wants to be involved in a physical confrontation when addressing public safety, the reality remains that use of force is sometimes necessary to gain control of a scene and prevent individuals from harming themselves or others. We are proud to have an open dialogue with our community and welcome the diverse perspectives of our residents in these conversations as we remain focused on building stronger relationships in our neighborhoods and preventing violent crime. Now, one of the cases Black Lives Matter was protesting was one we told you about just last week. It involved the arrest of Indianapolis musician Chanel Bates. She was roughed up by officers downtown after police accused her of trying to sell marijuana, something she denies. Her friends also say officers did not arrest some white friends who were with her at the time and were also ordered out of a car. IMPD is still investigating the arrest.
At 6:06, the path to win the Democratic presidential nomination is winding through Indianapolis. The National Urban League is hosting its annual conference at the Convention Center. The first wave of candidates spoke on Thursday. It included former Vice President Joe Biden and New Jersey Senator Cory Booker. All are courting the African-American vote, which is critical to win their party's nomination.
I believe we're in a battle for the soul of America. That's what's changed. You know, we have a president of the United States who has deliberately be nice, Joe. Be nice, Joe.
We cannot beat Donald Trump unless we have a large, vibrant turnout in the black community. The next nominee for the Democratic Party will not win if they cannot inspire, connect with, and earn the trust of our community.
Later this morning, the conference will host 5 more candidates, including California Senator Kamala Harris and South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg. You'll be able to watch their speeches live starting at 8 o'clock this morning at the RTV6 Facebook page.
You still have time to take advantage of free job resources at the National Urban League Conference. Hiring Hoosiers went to day 1 of the Career and Networking Fair. Like other job fairs, dozens of companies are there looking to hire, but unlike others, the Urban League event helps you improve how you market yourself, providing headshots, resume building, mock interviews, and much more. Those types of services usually cost hundreds of dollars.
You don't usually hear about these opportunities, and I know you come to these conferences, that's where the best opportunities are.
What we like to do each year, we have our conference and we go to a different city, but we want to make sure we leave something here. So we think that if we provide these services for free, people will have what they need to kind of get to the next level.
The career fair continues from 11 to 5 today at the Indiana Convention Center. An hourly job fair will be held tomorrow from 10:30 to 5, also at the Convention Center. It is 6:08 and summer break is ending, and it's time to get the kids ready to head back to school.
I can't believe it, and there are several events all across central Indiana to help you stock up on those school supplies. Our own Alyssa Donovan is here with us this morning, and Alyssa, you have all the details that parents and caregivers need to know about this event.
That's right. This one's happening tomorrow morning, the Covering Kids and Families Back to School Family Day. The event is a one-stop shop for parents to get their kids completely prepared for the school year. Families can pick up backpacks filled with school supplies that you helped provide at our RTV6 Back to School drive. There are also on-site health screenings, including sports physicals, immunizations, eye checks, and dental checks. There will also be the opportunity for people who need health insurance to enroll. Along with all the necessities, families can enjoy entertainment and other activities. The Back to School Family Day is tomorrow morning at the Marion County Health Department. It runs from 8:30 until noon. Now, parents should bring current shot records as well as insurance or Medicaid cards for children that need immunizations. And if you can't make this event, there are several other backpack giveaway events happening across the city over the next few weeks.
All right, listen for the kids going off to school here this morning. As you walk out the door, it's pretty comfortable. And if you're heading off to work here this morning, temperatures are currently sitting in the 60s in many locations. A few of you are in the 50s here this morning, but we'll warm quickly throughout the morning hours. In fact, by 11 a.m., we're looking at a temperature already up to 77 degrees with skies that'll be mostly sunny. So if you're thinking about lunch, it's Food Truck Friday on Georgia Street. They'll all line up there. You can head out and grab your favorite food and just sit there on Georgia Street or anywhere outdoors across central Indiana, whether it's on Georgia Street or down in Bloomington. I know they have the food trucks there as well. Sunny skies, low humidity, temperatures in the 80s. Then high temperatures today will top off in the mid-80s to the north, about 83 in Logansport, 85 in Seymour, and then the metro area will be right around the 85-degree number as well. Get out there and enjoy. More on your weekend forecast coming up.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, she was caught on video calling an African-American a racial slur, and she said she would do it again. Up next, why this woman is not apologizing for a confrontation that happened inside a restaurant.
And helping find jobs for the homeless. Next in Hiring Hoosiers, the city using a pilot program to break down employment barriers for those who need it the most.
And we're keeping a close eye on your commute this morning as you're heading out the door for your Friday at 6:11. This is a live look at I-70 and West Street near the downtown area. Everything here is moving smoothly, but don't forget, starting at 9 o'clock tonight, everything here is closing for a construction project lasting over a week. So we'll have all those details coming up on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Budget at Ross. Yes for less.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:14 here on our Friday, and here's a live look on the east side. I-465 and I-70 where traffic is picking up this morning. Everything is moving along up to speed. No crashes to report on this side of town for your morning drive. Well, Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's initiative to break down employment barriers and provide solutions for Hoosiers who are looking for work.
Today, our Amanda Starantino shows you how a pilot program to crack down on panhandling and homelessness is seeing success by connecting people with jobs.
David Mitchell spent the last year homeless and unemployed. It's not that he didn't want to work, he just couldn't land a job.
I was applying, just nobody was calling back. Of course, I didn't have a phone. That was another barrier. I just had to rely on email. It's tough getting to check it every day.
Everything changed for the 49-year-old when he learned about Pathway to Employment, the city of Indianapolis's pilot program to address the downtown panhandling issues by connecting those residents with employment opportunities and job training. The job, picking up litter and waste across the city.
Once this door opened, I took the opportunity, and I feel blessed to have this job.
It was the first step David needed because after only a few weeks of participating in the city's program, he landed a full-time position at a recycling company.
There are folks that really have barriers to entry at the very beginning of that continuum, and this is one tool that might help break down that barrier. This is the any job foot in the door to get to the better job and then to the career.
While Pathway to Employment gives a foot in the door for Hoosiers facing employment barriers, this program also fills a city need of litter control.
We can solve a complaint of residents while at the same time providing workforce opportunities for people who need them.
To make this program work, the city partnered with Keys to Work, an alternative staffing organization to help unemployed Hoosiers that face challenging barriers like homelessness, low income, and criminal histories get that first job.
People want to work. There's a lot of different things that go on in life, and what we've found here is that getting them a job gives them a sense of pride and a sense of hope to continue to work for their families.
This job pays $10 an hour, and with Pathway to Employment just in its second month, the program has connected 21 participants to daily jobs for about 2,000 work hours.
They're showing up to work every day from 7 a.m. to 2:30, like clockwork. They're interacting with different folks from all walks of life. They're learning how to function as ready-to-work employees, and that's a big part of who we are.
It is also providing a reconnection for the people who have felt disconnected, like David, who is now getting his life back on a path that makes him feel whole.
It was just getting somebody to call me back right off, just waiting. It took, seemed like forever. And when it did, it's just, blessed my life.
Amanda Starantino with that report. Pathway to Employment is funded through the end of September, and there is a wait list to participate. The deputy mayor says they will be discussing building the program into the 2020 city budget to keep it going. We have more information on this program right now at hiringhoosiers.com.
A North Carolina woman's on-camera encounter with another table at a restaurant is getting a lot of attention, and it's all because of the woman's repeated use of a racial slur. Now, that woman claims that she isn't a racist, even though she believes she was right to use the slur.
Too loud. We're too loud. In your opinion. Let me show you my money. It's just as green as yours. Oh, you're so stupid.
Nancy Goodman used the word during that argument. It was at a Bonefish Grill restaurant in Raleigh. Well, she blamed it in part on her anxiety, but she also said that she'd do it again.
I'm not going to say I'm sorry to them because they kept pushing at it. So, and that's all I'd really like to say.
What about your use of the N-word?
I used that word because they forced me into it.
I don't care how you feel like we should have been acting. If I was standing on the table with 3 heads in a purple jumpsuit, nothing justified you to come to my table and call me a stupid.
Well, Bonefish Grill says that it is looking into this incident.
A fraternity at the University of Mississippi has suspended 3 students over this photograph. It shows them posing with guns next to a civil rights marker honoring Emmett Till. Till was the 14-year-old who was tortured and murdered by white men in 1955 after a woman lied about Till whistling at her. The Mississippi Center for Investigative Reporting says one of the Ole Miss students posted the picture on social media back in March. The university says the photo is offensive and hurtful, but it did not violate the university's code of conduct. The marker has a history of vandalism, and it's unclear if the 3 people in the photo fired gunshots at the sign.
New this morning, Kroger plans to temporarily stop buying milk from an organic dairy farm facing allegations of extreme animal cruelty. Kroger's decision comes after our report on Wednesday of new video showing the abuse of cows here at a Natural Prairie dairy farm out in Texas. The company is planning to open a second organic dairy in Newton County, Indiana, that's in the northwest part of the state. Kroger says it has a long-standing commitment to the humane treatment of animals. It is suspending milk purchases from the Texas farm until this investigation is complete. Time right now, 6:19 on your Friday. Let's check in with Todd.
And Lauren, the forecast is another good one here as we wrap up the work week and we look ahead to the weekend. We'll carry the nice weather into the weekend as well if you have plans. It's just going to get a little warmer and more humid as we progress into Saturday and Sunday. Right now we're at 67 degrees. You can see the sunrise happening. Officially, it's not until 6:39 here this morning, but skies already starting to brighten. The winds are calm. The dew point still in the 50s. That's a very comfortable number, but as we go throughout the day today, the dew points are going to start to climb a little bit, but you really don't notice the humidity getting into that uncomfortable territory. We can kind of describe it as probably until tomorrow, or but more so on Sunday. We're at 58 in Pendleton right now, 60 in Greenwood, 62 is the current temperature in Plainfield. Lawrence, you're sitting at 59, so it's a comfortable morning for us in and around the metro area. We expand now. Crawfordsville at 55, 60 in Richmond, 58 in Bloomington. So the past 3 or 4 mornings have been really, really comfortable for us, with the low humidity, the clear skies, and these temperatures in the 50s and 60s. That'll start to change as the warmer air starts to work its way in. So skies are clear right now, but we do have some clouds off to our west. Little band of shower activity. The rain is going to dry up. You do not have to worry about that, but the clouds will start to make their way in here this afternoon. But we're just going to be partly cloudy. We're never going overcast throughout the day today, and that's because this area of high pressure is still close enough to keep those clouds from becoming more thick across the area. We'll thin them out as they make their way here into central Indiana. So mostly sunny to partly cloudy this afternoon. About 80 degrees for your noontime temperature, and then we're in the mid to upper 80s later on this afternoon for your high. Should be a beautiful night up in Noblesville at the Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Wiz Khalifa is in concert up there this evening. 82 degrees at 6 p.m. with fairly low humidity. It's pretty comfortable as the night goes on. 75 degrees as that show starts. starts to wrap up. As for your weekend, it's warmer. 89 Saturday, 90 on Sunday. The humidity comes up as well, and that puts heat index values anywhere from about 95 to 100 degrees over the weekend, with those 100-degree heat index values probably on Sunday. It's closer to 95 on Saturday. But nonetheless, here we are once again talking about heat and humidity after this nice little brief break from it the past few days. As far as rain chances go, this is TrueCast for Sunday. And you notice as we get into Sunday evening, a few isolated storms will be possible. And then Monday and Tuesday of next week, we'll keep some storms in the forecast as well on an isolated basis. And then next week, temperatures will be pretty seasonable with temperatures that'll be in the mid to upper 80s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a live look right now. Your commute through the downtown area, I-65 and I-70 at the South Split, where traffic is moving smoothly this morning. A reminder, over the weekend, we will have that closure of I-70 from right here at the South Split all the way over to I-465 on the west side. So just keep that in mind. That goes into effect at 9 p.m. tonight. But for right now on the roads, everything's moving about up to speed. Just a slight delay in the dog leg. Let's look, though, at some drive times. Heading in on I-74, traveling eastbound from State Road 267 to I-465. No delays. It's a quick 7-minute commute. And here to the southwest along I-70 from Ronald Reagan Parkway near the airport ramps all the way to I-65 at the South Split. Traffic is moving smoothly eastbound. It is a 12-minute drive. Well, he was supposed to be working on a woman's cable system, but police say that a Comcast employee was actually stealing from her. Coming up at 6:30, more on a bizarre case out of Carmel.
And this little piggy could not go wee all the way home for days. Up next, how first responders were able to rescue the piglet who was stuck in a culvert. That story coming up next.
Martin Acura.
The only name you need to know.
Welcome back. It is 6:25 on your Friday. We're keeping a close eye on your roads. We had an earlier crash here along I-865 eastbound. It's looking like right here at I-465, everything is moving smoothly. Part of that detour route for the I-65 closure in the dog leg. We'll continue to keep you updated on any crashes or delays.
A 3-month-old piglet that had been trapped in a culvert for days is now safe in Wisconsin. The piglet named Phoenix had been stuck in the drain since Sunday evening. Oh, those squeals! Little Phoenix broke out of a crate and ran when his owner opened the car door. First responders had to get creative to get Phoenix to come out.
We thought of some more ideas, and it came with a yoga ball. Looks more like a beach ball that we put in the pipe on the other end, and then we dumped 7,000 gallons of water behind the pipe. In the pipe behind the beach ball, and the beach ball, as it came through the culvert, coaxed the pig out of the culvert.
Little Phoenix was taken to a vet to be checked out, and he is A-OK.
Oh, Phoenix, what a strong name for that.
Yes. Oh my goodness, how adorable. Well, we are
glad he's okay.
Great that he is A-OK. And Todd, we have an A-OK forecast.
Yeah, you know, really, it is another nice day for us. Mostly sunny, very typical temperature-wise, what you would expect here at the end of July, as we'll get into the mid-80s, and the humidity today still fairly low. That is the good news. 64 at 8 a.m. up to 80 already by the noon hour. So we warm a little quicker this morning than we have the past few mornings, and as a result, our high temperatures this afternoon a little bit warmer as well, as we'll be in the mid-80s. Skies will go from mostly sunny to partly cloudy this afternoon. Get out there and enjoy. More on the weekend forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 6:27. You're watching RTV6.
That's why people feel more comfortable shopping at Meijer.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6:30, a major headache coming for drivers making their way through Indianapolis. We are live with everything you need to know about the big interstate closures set to begin tonight.
And a robbery and a shooting overnight under investigation right now. What police are telling us about this violent encounter early this morning.
And back to school season is here, and we want to make sure your kids are ready. The free event this weekend where you can grab a free backpack and supplies. It's 6:30. We finally made it to Friday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is with us here to talk about more good news in the weather department. It has been quite a week of weather.
Yeah, we started off Monday morning with a little bit of cloud cover and a few showers, and since then, it has been absolutely perfect here this entire week. So finally something to talk about, though, in the forecast, and that's a little more in the way of humidity heading our way, a little more in the way of cloud cover. This morning, here's a live look as you take a view from IMS off towards the east past past downtown Indianapolis. Sunrise officially here in 8 minutes at 6:39. And you notice the skies are clear across almost all of Indiana. However, just off to our west, you do notice the clouds. And this is the closest the clouds have been all week for the most part. And there's some showers there as well. The showers will fade away, but I think the skies will go from mostly sunny this morning to partly cloudy later on this afternoon. Temperatures this morning really comfortable. We're in the 50s and 60s, 67 in Indy right now, 58 in Greencastle, in Bloomington, 57 in Columbus. Will warm this morning up to about 80 degrees by the noon hour, and then temperatures in the mid to upper 80s this afternoon, with those skies becoming partly cloudy.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We're taking a close look at traffic this morning as you're heading out the door, and this is a live look at what you'll see on the north side, I-465 near Ditch Road. Now, we have a long-term construction going on in this area, but it looks like all travel lanes are open at this hour, and everything is moving along up to speed.
And as we look at the roads, there's going to be a major closure coming tonight that might affect your drive.
Yeah, a whole section of I-70 is actually closing for construction. And our Aaron Lish joining us live this morning with all the details. And Aaron, first tell us the reason behind all this road work.
Well, we were just talking to NDOT, and the winter that we had, it was pretty tough on our roads. So they're fixing those roads for that, making the pavement smooth. So it feels a little bit better when you're driving on the roads here. But there's quite a bit of traffic out here starting this morning. But tonight, that will be not the case because all of the lanes here, eastbound and westbound, will be closed. It's a pretty big stretch. It's from the south split all the way to I-465. And the good news is it won't impact your drive this morning or even rush hour in the evening because the closure doesn't start until 9 p.m. and this is going to last for some time. It's over a week long, but it's expected to open up by 6 in the morning on August 5th. And we asked exactly why they were doing this for both sides, eastbound and westbound. They said it's just easier to knock everything out. They can knock out things like the signs as well as fix any of the lights along with all of that road work. And, you know, I've seen all this before that phone maps might not have the closures in yet. So if you are trying to get around, use I-465 southbound to I-65 northbound, then to I-70 eastbound. And then if you are coming from the airport, go I-70 eastbound to I-465 southbound, then to I-65 northbound to get downtown. There are going to be a lot more people on those alternate routes, so be prepared for more traffic in that area. Maybe head out a little bit earlier to get to your destination on time. We are going to have all this information through this story on the RTV6 app and on the IndyChannel.com. Back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. We are following breaking news from overnight this morning. A man remains in critical condition after he was shot on the city's west side. IMPD says 2 men were walking near West 10th Street and Girls School Road around 1 this morning when they were approached by 4 to 6 other men. One of the men in the larger group had a gun and attempted to rob the pair when the shooting happened. Police are still looking for those suspects this morning. If you have any information on who those men might be, please call Crime Stoppers. New this morning, Putnam County officials say a man wanted for homicide in New York City is now behind bars. Deputies stopped Sheng Chen Mao for driving in the left lane 10 miles per hour under the speed limit on I-70. During the traffic stop, authorities learned Mao was wanted for the homicide in New York. Mao is currently in the Putnam County Jail waiting to be taken back to New York City.
It is 6:35. The Department of Justice says that it will carry out the executions of federal death row inmates for the first time since 2003. The Department of Justice says that 5 inmates will be executed in Terre Haute starting in December. In 2014, President Obama told the department to conduct a review of capital punishment and the issues surrounding lethal injection drugs. That review effectively put a freeze on the executions. The department says that the Bureau of Prisons has finished that review and says the executions can continue. You can see here a list on your screen of the scheduled executions. The 5 people serving time for murders involving children will be executed, and those executions will be held between December 9th of this year and January 15th of 2020.
A cable worker accused of using his job as an excuse to get inside an 86-year-old woman's house and steal from her is due in court next week.
This is disturbing, and we want the public to know and to take measures to protect themselves.
Prosecutors say Quentin Wilson drove a Comcast vehicle to the woman's home in Carmel 4 times, each time telling her he needed to work on something involving an installation. Carmel police say while Wilson was in the home, he stole $1,000 in cash from her dresser and used her credit card to make more than $5,000 in purchases. The victim's attorney tells RTV6 the woman lost much more than money.
He's really taken away her peace. She's fighting to live independent. It's very important to her, and she's done a great job of it, but now she's suffering. She's exhibiting some behaviors that would show some severe anxiety, and it's disturbing.
We reached out to Wilson on the phone, and he says the allegations are false. He's a Comcast contract worker. The attorney says the company should be held responsible for its workers, even those with contracted companies. Call 6 Investigates found Wilson was convicted in 2014 for stealing from a Walmart. Comcast told us, quote, "We are aware of the allegations against this contract employee. Both Comcast and his employer are cooperating fully as police and continue their investigation. In the meantime, he is no longer performing any Comcast-related duties."
At 6:37, IPL is asking state regulators to approve a 7-year plan to modernize its electric grid to better serve you, and it would come with a potential slight rate increase for the customers. If the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission approves the $1.2 billion plan, then next year IPL will present its initial request to recover those costs. IPL leaders say the move is expected to cost the average customer about an additional $1.50 per year for the next 7 years.
Summer break is ending, and it's time to get the kids ready to head back to school. There are several events across Indiana to help you stock up on supplies, and our Alyssa Donovan is here this morning. Alyssa, you have details on one of the events happening this weekend.
That's right, Meredith. The Covering Kids and Families Back to School Family Day is tomorrow morning. This event is a one-stop shop for parents to get their kids completely prepared for the school year. Families can pick up backpacks filled with school supplies that you helped provide at our RTV6 Back to School Drive. There are also on-site health screenings, including sports physicals, immunizations, eye checks, and dental checks. There will also be the opportunity for people who need health insurance to enroll. Along with the necessities, families can also enjoy entertainment and other activities. The Back to School Family Day is tomorrow morning at the Marion County Health Department. It runs from 8:30 until noon. Now, parents should bring shot records as well as insurance or Medicaid cards for children that do need immunizations. If you can't make it to this event, there are several other backpack giveaway events happening across the city over the next few weeks.
All right, as the kids walk off to school here this morning to the bus stop, if they're back in school, not everybody is, or maybe you're sending the kids out to walk the dog this morning. You're doing it yourself. It's a good dog walking forecast. Featured dogs of the day, Banks and Murphy. They're in the car getting ready for a ride. So maybe you're packing up your favorite four-legged friends and heading off camping or on a road trip here this weekend, and it's going to cooperate weather-wise for anything you want to do. And, of course, you can send your pictures to my Facebook page at Todd Clausen, RTV6, and we'll get them on there. We'll give you green paws from start to finish once again throughout the day today. Going from mostly sunny here this morning to partly cloudy throughout the day today with high temperatures that will eventually climb up into the 80s. The humidity comes up just a touch this afternoon, but overall it's a very comfortable day. The humidity does come up this weekend, though. I'll talk more about that weekend forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. A lifetime of saving turning into the ultimate gift just ahead. And Good News Friday, the incredible story of one man's generosity after he saved millions of dollars in secret. It is 6:40. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break. Well, we have reached the end of another long week, and that means it's time for our favorite segment of the week, Good News Friday.
During this segment of the show, we're bringing you nothing but positive and uplifting stories to help you get your weekend started off right. We begin this morning with one incredibly generous man.
Yeah, friends describe Dale Schroeder as a humble man who worked as a carpenter for the same company for 67 years. What no one knew, though, was that Dale was secretly saving money to do something pretty incredible.
Dale saved his money over the years and never married and had no living descendants, so before he died, he told his lawyer about his plan for the money. He told the lawyer he never had the opportunity to go to college, so he wanted to use his money to help those who couldn't afford it.
Well, after a lifetime of saving, Dale was able to use the $3 million in his account to pay the tuition for 33 students. Wow. Well, the group is now known as Dale's Kids, and they used his donation to become doctors, teachers, and therapists.
Just incredible.
Yeah, well, 3 teenagers in Canada not only got a good workout in, they also did some good as well.
Yeah, this all happened after they saw a woman stranded on the road. The 3 teens were out getting donuts in Ontario recently when they spotted the woman whose car had broken down.
So she explained to them that she didn't have enough money for a tow truck, so the teens decided to use their muscles to give her car a push. They pushed the car 5 miles all the way back to her house.
It took the teens about 2 hours to get the car all the way back, but they say it was all worth it.
Awesome.
Way to go. A little boy in Idaho had a 9th birthday party that he will never forget. Christian Larson had been begging his mom for a birthday party, but only one person RSVP'd. Then a high school football team showed up to celebrate with him. A friend of Christian's mom reached out to a local football coach who then texted the guys on his team to see if they wanted to go. He says they jumped at the chance, and Christian says it was the best birthday ever.
Oh, and he's so excited there. Well, thousands of 6 children will have a new place to recover, and it's all thanks to one very generous person.
An anonymous donor made a life-saving gift this month. Someone just donated $25 million to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles and asked to remain anonymous.
Wow, that money will go to support the expansion of the hospital's neurological institute and to overhaul its radiology space. Officials of the hospital say this will mean a healthier and happier future for infants, children, and young people.
The Los Angeles Children's Hospital is ranked the 5th best in the country.
All right, this next story, a manager at a Chick-fil-A restaurant in Maryland getting a lot of praise this morning after he jumped to help a regular customer in need. Manager Daryl Howard noticed that Mr. Lee, a 96-year-old World War II vet, had a flat tire in his car. So Daryl jumped right into action, spending 15 minutes in the parking lot with Mr. Lee, changing his tire for him. The person who took this picture said he thought the act of kindness was simply beautiful.
Oh, that's a good one there. A Vietnam War veteran received a proper send-off and burial, all thanks to an intern.
Yeah, the young man made sure that the hero received the honors that he deserved. It all started when Wayne Wilson passed away at the age of 67 with no surviving family members. About 10 of his friends were planning to have a small service to honor Wilson.
But Drew Mickle, an intern at the funeral home, found out about Wilson and put out a call to the public inviting them to honor Wilson at his funeral. That small service quickly turned into a massive gathering with more than 3,000 people showing up from across the country to honor the veteran.
Yeah, people drove to Michigan from as far away as Florida to honor Wilson's service, and Wilson received full military honors and a military salute at the ceremony. And wow, did you see, it almost looked like a parade of people and cars and
incredible. Yeah, just incredible. Wow.
Yeah. Well deserved.
All right,
too.
That is a great way to kick off our weekend, and Todd's forecast, the cherry on top of all of that.
You know, it really is. We had miserable weather for almost every single weekend during the month of June. And now in July, we've had great weather almost every weekend. It's been a little hot, especially last weekend. We'll start to warm things up this weekend as well. But if you're heading camping, boating, or doing anything outdoors, you're in great shape. Another great day today. Sunny and seasonable, and then those warmer temperatures continue to work in for your Saturday and Sunday. The view outside right now from IMS looking back off towards downtown Indianapolis. It looks a little cloudy out there, but it's not. Once the sun gets a little further over the horizon, we'll just burn any of that low-level moisture off, and we will warm it up really quickly here this morning. 67, that's the current temperature. The wind is calm. The dew points are in the 50s. That's still a very comfortable number. I will point out that the dew points slowly do start to climb later on this evening, but with them only in the low 60s, we're still in that very comfortable category. So today, even though it's a little warmer, it's still not humid, but as we continue into tomorrow morning and then beyond, that's when I think you will start to notice the humidity around a little bit more across central Indiana. 60 in Richmond, some 50s though this morning still from Crawfordsville through Greencastle to Bloomington, then over into the Columbus and Greensburg area. It's 61 in Lafayette. So this morning we warm quickly with the sunshine to a high temperature eventually into the mid to upper 80s. As we work our way into the afternoon hours though, you will start to notice, I think, the clouds starting to become a little more numerous across the area. We're not going to go overcast, but we're just going going from completely sunny to about partly cloudy. But the last few days, there's been hardly a cloud out there. So that represents a little bit of a change heading our way. And with that southerly wind, we're going to see that humidity increase as well this evening. And the clouds are just off to our west right now. You don't have to worry about these showers, though. They're running into a lot of dry air, so they're just going to evaporate. But again, partly cloudy skies this afternoon. If you're heading to White River State Park, there's the evening for the concert. Flaming Lips, temperatures in the 80s, falling into the 70s. And this applies for anything else across central Indiana. We're all in the same air mass, so there's not going to be much of a difference temperature-wise anywhere you go. And we'll all have the partly cloudy skies. Now, tomorrow morning on Saturday, as you wake up, temperatures in the 60s, a great start to our day. But we warm it up into the mid-80s tomorrow afternoon, about 88 degrees. The humidity comes up a little bit on Saturday. Sunday's dry for the most part, 89 degrees with the humidity probably the highest on Sunday, and that's going to put heat index values in that 95 to 100 degree range. Now on Sunday, I said mainly dry because late in the day, as we get into the afternoon and early evening hours, there will be the chance of maybe a few isolated showers that'll flare up across the area. They should be pretty spotty, and then once the sun sets, they'll fade away, only to flare back up as we head into the peak heating of the day on Monday and Tuesday. So Monday and Tuesday, probably a little better chance of those isolated storms during the peak heating of the day. Otherwise, temperatures fairly seasonable for us to a little bit above normal as we work our way across the next 7 days.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. The good news right now around the metro area, no crashes to slow you down. Here's a live look from our INDOT traffic camera at I-69 and Campus Parkway. Traffic in this area is moving along smoothly on the interstate and along Campus Parkway, as you can see. Of course, we'll continue to keep an eye out for any delays and keep you updated throughout the morning.
The road to the White House is running right through Indianapolis, which presidential candidates are expected to take the podium today in the Circle City. That's next.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:52. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey, and we are working for you, getting your Friday started on the right foot.
Yeah, we have your top stories covered, and we're keeping a close eye on traffic. Some major road closures coming up this weekend. We do want to start off with Todd Clausen and your Friday morning forecast.
And it's Meredith. It's a beautiful day for us here across the area, starting off with a nice sunrise here as you look from downtown off towards the north. And it'll be a sun-filled morning for us. But as the day goes on, we'll go from completely sunny skies to partly cloudy skies across the area. But this morning, lots of sunshine, 65 degrees here at 8 a.m., 74 degrees by the time we get to 10 a.m. And then high temperatures eventually this afternoon will be topping off in the mid to upper 80s. Humidity comes up just a smidge this afternoon, but still very, very comfortable. And a day you can get outdoors with no issues whatsoever, whether it's morning, afternoon, or later on this evening. Aaron.
Good morning. We are here right off of I-70, and you may run into some problems this weekend with all lanes closed starting at 9 o'clock tonight, and that will affect both the eastbound and westbound lanes from the south split all the way to I-465. A pretty long stretch here, so they are working on winter damage and those pavement conditions. This should run for about 10 days. INDOT saying it should be expected to be back open by August 5th at 6 a.m. Good news is this won't impact your rush hour this morning or in the evening. We will have the detour routes you want to take while this area is closed. We have those alternate ways to go on this story through the RTV6 app and on the IndyChannel.com.
Aaron, thank you. The path to win the Democratic presidential nomination is winding through Indianapolis. The National Urban League is hosting its annual conference at the Convention Center. The first wave of candidates spoke on Thursday. It included former Vice President Joe Biden and New Jersey Senator Cory Booker. All are courting the African-American vote, which is critical to win their party's nomination. Later this morning, the conference will host 5 more candidates, including California Senator Kamala Harris and South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Millions of Americans are struggling to pay off medical debt that makes raising a family more challenging. For the first time, we're hearing from a Kokomo woman who had thousands of dollars in medical debt forgiven by her church. Lacey Rudolph did not have health insurance when she got a kidney stone requiring expensive medical tests and treatment. She's a single mom of 2 kids, and paying it back wasn't easy. She attends Fuel Church, where leaders were organizing a medical debt relief payout, but she never thought she would be a recipient. Lacey was one of 72 million Americans struggling to pay off medical debt.
And if you happen to be struggling with medical debt, you do have a few options. You can set up payment plans to pay off your bills. You can also reach out to a medical bill advocate. That's a professional who can help you negotiate and find any billing errors. And if your bills are already in collections, you might be able to negotiate a lower payment. Alyssa.
Well, the annual Back to School Family Day is tomorrow at the Marion County Health Department. Families can get health screenings for their children, enroll in health insurance, and pick up a backpack full of supplies. But you want to get there early because there's more than 10,000 people that typically attend this event. The event starts at 8:30 tomorrow morning and runs until noon.
Alyssa, thank you. The community and corporation coming together to help feed neighbors. The property management group Edward Rose & Sons is hosting a food drive through Monday. You can drop off any donations at the company's 8 properties in Marion, Johnson, and Hamilton counties. The food the group collects will be given to Midwest Food Bank.
One of the oldest festivals in Indiana continues later today. The St. Christopher Catholic Church Midsummer Festival runs through tomorrow, starting at 4 p.m. each day. The annual event at 16th and Lyndhurst and Speedway features carnival rides, casino games, live entertainment, and food. Signature dishes include cod sandwiches, breaded tenderloins, and pistachio cake.
Well, we do want to take a live look outside right now at your Friday morning commute. No problems here at I-465 and West 10th Street. The good news for your commute as well, no crashes to report around the metro area, so it should be smooth sailing. Let's get a check of our forecast now, Todd.
And Lauren, it's all quiet here across the area with mostly sunny skies this morning. Grab the sunglasses as you head out on the roadways. It's comfortable this morning. We're in the 60s in most locations. We'll be near 80 by the noon hour. And then as we transition into the afternoon, turning partly cloudy, but no rain today. High temperature of 86 degrees. Here's a look at your 7-day planning forecast. Saturday and Sunday, hazy sunshine, highs around 90. Heat index values in the mid to upper 90s, so the humidity does come up. Best chance of storms will be late Sunday and then again on Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. And thanks for joining us. We're back in 25 minutes right here and all throughout Good Morning America with your local news, weather, and traffic updates.
And remember, all your news throughout the day can be found on the RTV6 app. We'll leave you here with a look at downtown view to the north. Have a great Friday and a wonderful weekend.